Tamar's account is viewed with reverence for its spiritual and moral teachings, aligning with the broader themes of God's justice and the fulfillment of his promises. Tamar appears in the book of Genesis and is part of the genealogical line leading to Jesus Christ, highlighting her importance in biblical history. Tamar's background and marriage. Tamar first enters the biblical narrative in Genesis chapter 38. She was married to the firstborn son of Judah. However, was described as wicked in the eyes of Jehovah, and God caused him to die. Genesis chapter 38 verses 6-7. According to the custom of levirate marriage, which was common at the time and later incorporated into Mosaic law, Deuteronomy chapter 25 verses 5-10, Tamar was then married to brother, Onan. This custom required the brother of a deceased man to marry the widow and produce offspring to carry on the deceased's name and inheritance. Onan, however, refused to fulfill his duty to Tamar. He practiced a form of contraception, spilling his seed rather than impregnating her, because the offspring would not be considered his own. This act was seen as selfish and displeasing to God, and Onan also lost his life as a result. Genesis chapter 38 verses 8-10. Judah's hesitation. After Onan's death, Judah, Tamar's father-in-law, hesitated to give her his youngest son, Shelah, as a husband. He claimed Shelah was too young, but the text implies that Judah feared Shelah might also die if married to Tamar, as his brothers had. This left Tamar in a state of limbo, both socially and economically vulnerable, as she was without a husband or children in a culture that heavily valued such roles. Tamar remained in her father's house, waiting for Shelah to grow up. However, it became evident that Judah had no intention of fulfilling his promise. Tamar's bold action. Realizing Judah's reluctance, Tamar took matters into her own hands. When she learned that Judah would be traveling to Timnah to shear his sheep, she disguised herself as a prostitute and positioned herself along his path. Judah, unaware of her true identity, approached her and offered payment for her services. As a pledge for future payment, he gave her his seal, cord, and staff, items that were personal and unmistakably his. Tamar conceived through this encounter. When Judah later learned that Tamar was pregnant and accused her of immorality, she revealed the items he had given her, proving that he was the father. Judah recognized his wrongdoing, admitting, "She is more righteous than I, because I did not give her to Shelah my son." Genesis chapter 38 verse 26. The birth of Perez and Zerah. Tamar gave birth to twins, Perez and Zerah. Perez became an ancestor of King David and, ultimately, Jesus Christ, as noted in the genealogies in Matthew chapter 1 verse 3 and Luke chapter 3 verse 33. This inclusion underscores Tamar's pivotal role in God's plan of salvation. Jehovah's Witness perspective. Jehovah's Witnesses often highlight Tamar's story as an example of courage, faith, and a strong sense of justice. Despite facing significant challenges, Tamar acted decisively to secure her rights and fulfill her role in God's purpose. Her actions also exposed Judah's failure to uphold his responsibilities, prompting his acknowledgement of his own moral shortcomings. From a broader perspective, Tamar's story demonstrates how Jehovah uses imperfect people to accomplish his will. Her inclusion in the lineage of Jesus emphasizes God's mercy and justice, showing that his purpose transcends human mistakes and cultural norms. Practical lessons. Jehovah's Witnesses might draw several lessons from Tamar's account. The importance of justice. Tamar's actions were motivated by a desire for justice within the framework of the customs of her time. Courage and initiative. Tamar's boldness in taking action highlights the importance of trusting in God's justice while also taking necessary steps to address wrongdoing. God's sovereignty. Her inclusion in Jesus' lineage underscores Jehovah's ability to use unexpected individuals and situations to fulfill his promises. Tamar's story encourages readers to reflect on their own faith, the importance of upholding justice, and the assurance that Jehovah can guide even difficult circumstances toward a meaningful purpose. Please share and like and please subscribe.